Are you looking for an off-the-beaten-path small region that makes fabulous wines? Above all, Sauvignon Blancs? Then you need to check out today's region and winery. Michi Lorenz from South Styria, Austria. Hi there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out small production, hard to find, wild and scarce wines to bring to U.S. consumers, wine lovers, businesses, and distributors to enjoy the wine exploration with us. One winery that really exemplifies this concept of crafting with passion is Austrian winery Michi Lorenz, from a really cool off-the-beaten-path region known as South Styria. These wines next to me really come from a perfect storm combination of the special area and terroir and young winemaker Michi Lorenz, who is kind of like a rock star winemaker. A music lover and philosopher, he doesn't just think about his wine in terms of biology or chemistry, but also in terms of art. But before we get into the man and his family's wine history, we're going to look at a more macro view of the winery in terms of the area. That would be South Styria, Austria. South Styria, also known as the Südsteiermark region, is in southern Austria. It's situated near the Slovenian border, and this region has a unique climate that is influenced by its proximity to not only the mountains, the Sausal Mountains, but also to the Adriatic Sea. Thanks to this blend of Mediterranean and continental influences, it gets significant day-night temperature swings, or diurnal fluctuations, which wine lovers know that ripening grapes love. Grapes, especially Sauvignon Blanc, which this region is famous for, also really love the soils, which can move from sand and slate to marl and limestone. But the nearby Sausal Mountains are famous for their different schist soils in particular. There's all sorts of different colors of schist soil, from red to black to green. It's just a big area of schist soils. As well, the steep vineyards, where these rocky soils are also really great for white grapes that dominate the region. But the warming climate has actually seen some red grapes come into their own, like this Zweigelt that we are going to be tasting in a moment. But going back to the Sauvignon Blanc, South Styria is actually famous for it. We have actually recently released a video talking all about the grape and its versatility, where we tasted these three totally different Sauvignon Blanc wines from none other than Michi Lorenz. I'll link that video down below. But if you missed it, you'll probably need to subscribe here on YouTube and to our newsletter on verovino.com to make sure that you never miss new content or wines. In that video, we talked about how Sauvignon Blanc can really change based on not only location, but also production style. That is where a small, passionate winemaker like Michi Lorenz truly shines, which we saw tasting these three wines. But he's got the history to back it up too. You see, the Lorenz family has actually been growing grapes since the 1500s, with grapes even being used to pay taxes at one point in their family history. The modern winemaking, however, really stems from Michi's grandfather, who, after World War II, began turning the family farm into a business. Now, Michi runs both the vineyards and the winery, marching to his own tune. You see, Michi is just as passionate about his wines as his music. He has guitars everywhere in his house and cellar, and likens his winemaking process to music creation, saying that he views every new vintage or bottle as a new album. He farms his almost entirely slate schist soils that are at times nearly vertical, they are so steep, as both certified organic and biodynamic vineyards. And despite how difficult it is to farm biodynamically and organically, Michi swears by it, saying that he can smell and taste a real difference in the grapes from his pre-biodynamic farming techniques to his current systems. Without chemicals or mechanical help, it will require a farmer and winemaker to be much more careful, attentive, and present in the vineyard and winery to take care of the vines and wines. And Michi believes this attention to detail and patience is the difference in his wines, as he gets to be hands-on and craft them as one would write a rock opera. As I said earlier, we have already tasted and compared these three Sauvignon Blancs from Michi. This classic stainless steel aged one, Schist Happens, a playfully pun on the schist soils that predominate Michi's vineyards, and this is a really cool blend of different vineyards and vintages, but all still 100% Sauvignon Blanc. And lastly, our Halo, which he leaves to macerate on the skins as an orange skin contact wine. They are all three delicious and special songs in their own ways. But the one wine in Michi's album that we haven't tasted yet is this one here, his red Zweigelt. All right, let's get tasting it. Zweigelt is a grape that is from Austria and Germany as well. It's a modern crossing of Blaufränkisch and Saint Laurent that you might know from the Thaya winery in the Czech Republic. So, what a beautiful color. I love, it's a deep ruby color, and whew, on the nose, we've got lots of spices and cherries. My goodness. I think just about every way you can imagine a cherry, we've got it in here. Just super ripe, dark. Gorgeous, gorgeous cherries and these wonderful spices, kind of peppery. So we have nice, soft, sandy tannins, which is expected of a red wine, but they're certainly not obtrusive in any way. The spices are what come through for me the most on the palate. I'm really tasting cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, that pepper, all with the cherries underneath. It's like spiced cherries, kind of, if you were cooking cherries. In fact, it kind of reminds me of almost like a cherry syrup or cherry liqueur that you might find. Well balanced. Nice body and a nice acidity, yet certainly is lending to the flavor. Really intense. It's a really nice, intense wine. Lots of flavor. And the finish, those spices, that pepper, really go on. I'm still tasting a little bit of a peppery flavor on my tongue right now, even talking like this. Absolutely delicious. But the question is, are you ready to taste South Styria in your glass? Whether you are a wine lover or a business distributor in the US, check out verovino.com and the Vero shop that I will have linked below, where you can purchase or write us for wholesale pricing regarding all of these wines from Michi Lorenz. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and tasting, please leave a like below and make sure to subscribe here on YouTube and to the Vero newsletter that I'll have linked to never miss new content and new wines. While you wait for that new content, why don't you check out this video here, where I talked all about Sauvignon Blanc and tasted the other Michi Lorenz wines. I'll see you in that video there. Bye.